Welcome, friends.
Welcome, friends.
Holy shit. How are we? I am fantastic and I'm doing really well. Today, we are doing another live stream. Tremendous. That's right, friends. Today is live stream 200. 200 live streams. Incredible sauce. Outrageous sauce. I hope you are happy. I hope you are well. I hope everything's going your way. I am eating a packet of minstrels, which is fun. Let's see who's here. Thanks to Andy Sarbury Play for donating £5. You are too kind. I really appreciate it. For some reason, Coffee won't let me reply to you on their website, but here I am. Thank you very much. And thank you to anybody and everybody who donates and contributes. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. Welcome, Dushan. Welcome, A. Welcome, Paroli and Tripler. Welcome, Boz. Pio Bankson. Welcome to you, Dev. Hi. Panda. Panda is wearing New Harlem. Nice. I like the old New Harlem. I think you should just call it Harlem now, shouldn't you? You know, so it's not New Harlem. It's not new, anyway. It's just Harlem, isn't it? Hello, Ryan. Bonjour, if you will. Juro. Scott. Enrique, thank you. Wearing Fahrenheit Absolute. Sensational. Ryan clicked for the cat. It's a good idea. The cat is called Max. Baymax. A film reference, apparently. Haven't seen that one, but I just call him Max. Because if I can be lazy, I will be lazy. You know what I mean? Juro is wearing Antace. Ryan is wearing Lalabo. Elang 49. What happened to the other 48? Could they not have just rounded up to 50? Let's play. Guess how many times Richard will say, "Excuse me whilst I hydrate." Every time I say, "Excuse me whilst I hydrate," take a drink. It's not the newest, but not the vintage one, says Juro. Sheep of sorts, says Ryan. Neck is not for me, Duchamp, but I'll wear it. Don't spray perfume on your necks. Jesus. I like that honeyed feel. Not really Elang Sentinel. Not an Elang fan. Really, I run away from that kind of thing. Yellow florals, white florals. Any kind of light coloured floral is a bit minging for me, apart from Iris, which is a completely different fragrance, to be fair. Today, if anybody is interested, I am wearing the much vaunted by me Amber Fetish. Alhamdulillah. Delula. Mazel tov. Laos. Praise be. Amber Fetish is fucking sensational. It's absolutely brilliant. It's got Russian leather in it. It's all kinds of amber and resins. Hello, Antonio Hobson. You are wearing the afternoon of a fawn. Thomas from... Yes, Dev is right. Dev's right. I am trying, but not succeeding. I'm trying to be multicultural. I also tried to say Mazel Tov, but I've almost certainly said that wrong. I'm not sure what the Christian one is, which is strange because I was born into it. You merely adopted the Christianity. I was born in it, molded by it. But I'm not. I mean, Jesus, I'm just not religious whatsoever. Like, the state of religion. It's got a hell of a lot to answer for, which is ironic. Was just about to buy Chanel Le Leon on John Lewis on offer. Chanel on offer, and the last one gone snooze, you lose. Yeah, you've got to buy stuff. Buy what you like immediately because the prices will always go up. There's no sign of any price dropping in perfume at the minute. With 20% off at John Lewis for Chanel, you are paying 2021 prices, maybe even 2022 prices. You know what I'm saying? It's still not good enough. Like, the fucking state of price rises in this fucking game is absolutely disgusting. And they're chopping off the nose to spite their face. I can tell you, there's going to be a lot of blowback from that. And James, welcome. My birthday brother. How are you, sir? Oh no, I've done something stupid again. Where are we? What size bottle is that, says Antonio Hobson. That is 100ml, but it hasn't got 100ml in it. I'd back that shit up. Oh, so hard. It's so nice. Amber Fatish's great. I just dropped off some decants for a kind YouTuber, and one was Amber Absolute. I forgot how great that scent is. Amber Absolute. I've got that. I might wear it. I should wear Tuscan leather. The weather's been foul. There's a storm here at the minute called Storm Debbie, which doesn't sound very threatening. They should make more threatening names for it. Like, I've known a couple of Debbies, do you know what I mean? God. 75ml for 160 is alright. It still sickens me for smelly water. Yeah, well, of Chanel, yes, but it's you're paying a lot for the name. You really are. It's like Rolexes. Rolexes aren't the best watches. They're not even close to being the best watches. But you're paying for the name, like Creed's. Rolex is like Creed. You're just paying for the shit they come out with. Absolute Eventness video from George. I enjoyed. I haven't watched that one yet, unfortunately. Shame on me. Well, Van Cleef and Arpels pour on last night for the first time in a couple of years. Christ, what a fragrance. I sold mine. Wasn't a big fan. Wasn't getting anywhere. I thought it was all right. Boz says George should not try so hard. He overdid it with that video, says Boz. He's a twat, says Boz. Ryan is in the Lake District and the weather was woeful. Yeah, well, it always is, to be fair, in the Lake District. On that side of the Pennines, it's always absolutely shocking, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm on the other side of the Pennines, so most storms, by the time they get here, unless they've been eastward bound the whole time, most storms, by the time they get here, are like severely weakened. Like, they've had their energy sapped out of them by having to go over the mountains. Well, I say mountains, like the fucking Pennines. I'm from Northumberland, Ryan. So just like, I'm about 15-20 minutes outside of Newcastle, which is the way I like it. Slayham Gaming, welcome. Have you tried Maison Alhambra Avant? I recently bought this and I'm loving this one. It's a very smoky Aventus clone. So, Maison Alhambra is a The Maison Alhambra, is that a clone house? I'm not entirely sure. But the ticking sound is what the fuck is going on? Proddy, are you winding me up? Is it there? It's gone because I took the microphone out and put it back, and that's what sorted it out last time. Is the cat in the thumbnail? Is that your cat in the thumbnail? It isn't my cat in the thumbnail. It is my friend's cat in the thumbnail. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Andy, welcome, sir. They are a clone house. I haven't smelled it. I got my nose on Aventus Absolute this past week. Meh. I thought it was really poor, actually. Dev says, I'm not going to disagree with that statement because I don't like to badmouth other creators' boss, but you can think what you want. I'm not trying to patronise either, says Dev. Oh, sure, I can. To be clear, I was talking about the Fragrant Apprentice, says boss. Hey, have you tried Maison Alhambra Avant? I haven't. Sorry, no, I haven't. Sweet baby Jesus, says Prodib. Boss, sorry to say, but I'm woke, says Dev. I am nothing if not woke. How's the EDC Etro Ambra duck? The EDT is mediocre. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Oh! I need to start wearing these. I don't know if anybody's listened to the latest Les Odorants podcast, but I sent Houdini a lot of these, and he was a big fan. They're a fucking great house. It's not bad, the amber. I don't think it's their best creation. Excuse me. I've got it here. Ambra. Oh, no. I might do a top 10 ambers video. Let's see if Eugene wants to do a live stream of the... Because we did the leathers, didn't we? Welcome, not in the know. How are you? Ticking sound is back. Is the ticking sound still there, Brody? You don't belong to the woke generation. I don't care about politics. I just don't want drama, says Dev. Yeah, it would be nice if everything could just settle down a little bit. I'm glad you're all right, Dev. You or anyone ever tried Lorenzo Pazzaglia stuff? No. Pale Benson wants it darker. I'm a fan of the darkness. But you merely adopted the dark. How's Beam? How's that? I think that's brighter, actually, isn't it? You might have to turn your your screen down for that. Hold on a second. Was it better or worse before I put that filter on? Seems to have lightened things up. This amber is very different from the ambers I've been wearing recently. Hydration of the day, black coffee, says Scott. The cat looks like the Egyptian Sphinx. Yes, he's actually got a brother called Lion. And Lion very much looks like a Sphinx. Like the way he sits, and like she gets Laura G gets pictures of him side on, and he looks very much like a Sphinx with a nose. At the post office to send off some gems. I hate lying when she asks me. Oh well. Shouldn't make stupid laws, and you wouldn't have to do silly things to get around them. It's an innocent. It's not the worst crime in the world, mate. Maison Alhambra is actually a clone house. They've even copied Tom Ford line, even the design of their bottles, and got sued by Tom Ford. That's right. Yes, I think I remember that. I'm not lying. It's cosmetic samples and beard oil, says Paroli. Yes, take the road some of our favourite creators have, and say they're samples when they are in fact full bottles for review. I don't want to go on about that like I've got a problem with Persolaise, because I don't. I do love Persolaise. And he is definitely an addition, and we need him, and he is one of the best of us. Absolutely not. It's just this, it's a very small issue. You know? It's not a big problem. I just wish he would call it a fucking free bottle for review, because that is what it is. How do I feel about this Ambra? It's kind of fresh. Hello, Devon Cross. Rich, you're probably not going to say your opinions on Centauri perfumes online, right? I finally released my first video on it. It's really interesting. Dev, I'll watch that. You'll just have to give us time. But no, I'm not. I don't think it's right. I've was quite close to Peter for a while, so. Oh God, this perfume is leaking. Stop your leaking. Sound like I'm talking to my ex-girlfriend. Stop your leaking. I might have to wear that soon, actually, Leather Rude. I've discovered a dirty great amber wood in there, though, and I'm not very happy about it. He first tries to be very conscious about getting freebies. He tries to make it a revolt against shilling, yet in the end he celebrates shilling. Who's that? Speaking of Zaharoff, I'm a huge fan of honey scents generally, so I'd be keen to try his new one, Aurum, says Panda. One of the fragrances is a dislike, but it's not disgusting per se. Splinter says, hey Rich, hey Splinter. I got a bottle of Ted Lapidus Polar Wee, made by Maurice Roussel. Really nice vanilla with musk, lavender, mint, and cedar. I like the idea of a mint note. Mint and cedar sounds kind of nice. A weird little man. He is James Corden of Fragcom, says Boz. Ryan says it's good stuff. Rich Italian House. The perfumer is a former chef, and all of them are 40% concentration. Good grief. 40%. Amouage have just done 50%. Delhi is an amber that blew my mind. It blew me mind? Like a combo of Lone Star and Ambra Sultan. Good grief, who's that by? I've heard it smells more like a vanillic pouring on de Caron. Oof! More vanillic than that. Had pie for breakfast today, Bob, says Tripler. You're not going to comment this, Dev? Don't break my heart, says Boz. About to bag Amouage Overture for 150? Yes. Let's see what you feel when his buddy Fishman sends out a free $500 Juvie Extra. Aye. Yeah. I caught a little bit of his live yesterday. And he was saying, ask me anything. And I did think about just saying any chance of changing that word sample to free bottle. But I didn't want to shit on his parade. He's just got 20,000 subs. I didn't want to be, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be that person who came in and was like, everything's shit. Stop being a dick. No. And also, I was, yesterday, I was a bit tired. I felt terrible yesterday. And then I went to sleep really early last night and slept all the way through the night. Woke up today, felt great. Felt absolutely great. I was like, what? Utter sorcery. What's going on here? I don't like, just on the personal thing. I didn't want to. I don't know. I might reach out to him privately or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to make it. I don't want to be a big, like, he's not like other. He's definitely not like those other big channels where they just push shit on everyone. He's not like that at all, and I don't want to lob him in with all of those. But I do think calling a free bottle a gratis bottle, a sample, is a little bit. I think he's. I don't want to say he's not letting himself down. That's not what I'm saying, because that's very patronising. What's he doing? He's better than that. You know what I mean? I would have just thought he would call it a free bottle. I got this PR bottle. You know? But to me, a sample is like a fucking sample, something this size. That's a sample. You know? Fucking look, that's a sample you get from that's a sample you get from a brand. You know what I mean? A sample is not a 50 mil, 100 mil. You you know. Channel Z, welcome thee. How are you? It's semantics. It is semantics. I do think it is actually semantics. And he is a man of letters, and he is very erudite, and he's like I said, he's one of the best of it. You know what I mean? He's brilliant. I love him. Absolutely. He's not like one of these people who's like, you can spot them a mile away. Do you know what I mean? He's not one of those, like, at all. So I would like to think I'm going to be more careful with the words I use. War Jubilation 40 was released. I think I'm going to eventually buy it, I bet. I wonder if Lasontas get it, and if they do, they'll be doing samples. And I will be buying one. And I will try it. I did notice Renault Samon was on Persilase's in his chat yesterday. Jesus, in his chat. I'm surprised nobody said, Renault, what the fuck are you doing with the prices? Like, even a bit of insight from someone like that as to what they're doing, what the logic is behind the prices is. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the logic behind this? Like, who the fuck? They say their costs have gone up 10%, right? It's like, yeah, but the price of the product doesn't need to go up 10% when you're putting it up 10% twice a year. You know what I mean? Chanel's the worst for it. I should say that immediately. Anyway, I need to catch up on these comments. Comment on what bars. It's your comment that don't take offense. I just don't want to get on a YouTuber's bad books. Welcome to you. We're wearing Coromandel EDP. I'm so obsessed with the smell of pineapples. I want all the perfumes that have pineapple note in it. Be careful with that, because I've done that before with different notes, right? And what you'll find is that not all pineapples are created equal, and that some are better than others. And after a while of owning them, you are going to be like, this is a shit pineapple. This is a great pineapple. Why did I buy the shit pineapple? Test them, sample them, wear them, get used to them. Right? Trust us. Dior leather roots stink, smells of shitty leather boots, says Ryan. Some people love a shitty leather boot. I think it smells like a working men's club bathroom. Slim gaming, but try that with his poor arm. It's comedically masculine, like a pastiche of masculinity. Sickly sweet and sweaty at the same time. Alan Gomez, welcome. I saw people mention that comparison. I'm not too sure how the modern pouring arm smells. I on the vintage one doesn't quite smell the same to me, says Alan. Welcome to Vine. Whoever recommended Ted Lapidus, Paula Wee, seconded. It's a fantastic lavender mint cheapie. I'm still pondering whether I should get Jubilation 35 by discount. Says Boz, imagine a drunk Persley's and I missed a smelly live stream 3 hours in. That would just not happen. I should get my sample of the House of Oud Crop 23 this week. Super excited for that. Oud and weed. Let me know if they actually make a realistic weed note. Just don't think that's... I've never smelled one. Put it like that. I've never smelled a realistic weed note. Scent of the day was Royal Crown's Imperator. Is Persilaise some kind of salad dressing? No, I forget. I think I knew what Persilaise meant, and now I can't remember for the life of us. There's nobody out there who does a nice cannabis note and perfumery. It just doesn't happen. Carl says, have you smelled any of the early Les Abstrait contenders, Rich? No. He hasn't actually mentioned them that much to me, or anyone that I'm aware of. Pardon me. So, not sure. I keep asking him. I'm like, how are they coming on? But he hasn't said so. I don't want to push it. Oh, that Erica calls PR package. She's got a couple of those, hasn't she? Channel Z, welcome to thee. It sounds more like a deodorant or something with flowers. Erica calls it a package, all right, proud him, says Dev. He does not have 3 backup bottles. He only has a sample. Says Carl, I don't know much about why he said sample, but to be fair to personalities in fashion, PR freebies are almost universally called samples. We just use the word sample differently in this hobby. That's a very good point, to be fair. I haven't smelled J40 yet. I'll likely be among the first, though. I'm very annoyed when I read Sebastian's impressions and he said it smelled like camphor. I'm falling in love and it's a beautiful feeling. Says Smell I'm Gaming. I got Dusha 4 back. That's a good thing. Problem is with Amouage, I've got to be very careful because I don't like oud oil samplers very regularly used among fashion influencers. I've noticed. I'm not into fashion. I mean, if you saw the state of us, you would know. It's very strange because I smell fantastic, but I look like shit. I don't look like shit. Let's have straight shipping to Finland now so I can place my order as soon as possible, says Devon. Can't wait to get my hands on these samples. Yes. Boss, that's a bit presumptuous. Perhaps you just don't like the traditional Western utilisation of oud. I'm funny with oud. Amber Wood has kind of shat all over the prospect of oud for me. Welcome, Kitschy K. How are you? Amber Wood has kind of terrorised me a little bit, you know. What's retailing? $4.55. You got the plug? Kind of plug. Excuse me. Yeah, I watched Poisley's live last night and there was absolutely no pressing tough questions, certainly not off salmon. Yeah. I've tried silver recently. I laughed when I saw the price. It's not worth a fifth of retail, says Paroli. That's the problem with a lot of modern perfumes. They're not worth the composition. Bilbo, welcome to you. Nice to see you last night. Nice to see you now. The compositions just aren't worth anywhere near what they're asking for, and the fact that they've put the prices up so much and it's so egregious that they're doing it at one of the worst times economically for the Western world that they possibly can, you know, it's an absolute disaster. It's an absolute joke that they're slapping in the face. Eugene has been at it with his samples and shipping recently. Really good, says Carl. Ryan X certainly wouldn't blame the people for it since they probably took it for a celebration. Yeah, it was. It's not the time. He could have done it. He could have done it and asked me anything. For a different time when it wasn't a celebration. That's one of the reasons that I wouldn't go in there and say, "Hello." Why? Like the sample thing, like. I don't want to say bothers us, you know what I mean? I don't lie awake at night fuming about it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's committed a crime. I just think it could be worded differently. I wouldn't call it a sample. But I do agree when people like Dev say that in the fashion world, that's what a sample is. It is a gift of the full product, you know. I'm going to put up the 980 ml Chanel EDC in my video and call it a sample, says Proudy. Yeah, I didn't want to bring up anything too tough as it was a celebratory, congratulatory type of stream. Yeah. Yeah, and it's right that we're not just going in there, or anybody's going in there and just being a total dick about it. You know what I mean? Rich likes hanging out seedy men's buyers' bathrooms, says generic perfume. Sauvage line provides it all, says Dev. I smell of oud. Which one is best for you, says Buzz. Divine, how would I know if the weed is realistic? Go and smell some actual weed. Either the EDT or cologne, Buzz. For you, probably the cologne. Cologne? Anybody out there does a realistic, nice cannabis note and perfume? No. Have you smelled any of the earlier Lazab strays? No. Don't think so, Ryan. Make a left. Desir Toxic was just a more aromatic Leighton, and the fragrance to Bois one wasn't really that either. Oh, Savage and Political Correctness. Dev, you are a young version of Dan Norton. I will buy a full 100ml bottle of Jubilation 40, says Duchamp. Good grief. Shame because I like the smell of weed even though I ain't a stoner, says Ryan. I like the smell of weed when it's been breathed out because it's got all that carbon dioxide in it. It changes the smell slightly, makes it a little bit different. I used to like the smell of hash. I don't know how old you are, Ryan, but there's the smell of hash tack, what people call soap bar. You could get some really good fucking hash back in the day. I mean, I'm an old man now. You're talking 20, 25 years ago. Anybody tried these Dries Van Notens? Plenty of people have, but I think most people came out and said they thought it was a bit shit. Welcome, Boris. I've watched Eugene's latest video and I had to do a double take it. Keep warm. It's blazing outside, says Dev. It's been fucking badly stormy here today. Been proper November rain. Boss, I'm not okay. I'm not done okay. I'm not that frivolous with my donation drives. What's going on with Eugenie? All right, says Boss. What do you mean? I know Lorenzo Padzaglia does an exclusive called Marax. Marax might pick that up. Might be green, eucalyptus, and cannabis. Yeah, he's making videos. It's fine. Kitchy K, welcome. You are wearing Chloe Narcisse. Are we waiting for some discount code? It's really divine. That was not. I like amber fragrances usually, says Boz. Black market for a scent that won't be out for another 3 weeks. But Bilbo. Amber tested fragrances are a tough wear for me, says Dev. I imagine in your heat there will be. Is any Amouage worth £320? Don't think so. This Amber cologne. I'm sure I've got another bottle of it somewhere. All the labels aren't worth the money you pay for them. Listening to Rich is now my therapy. You can literally get Fragrance Du Bois New York Intense, which is a dupe of Jubilation 25, and that performs better for less price. I remember buying Initio Side Effect for 200 quid. Oof. Rich has a voice, poor hom. Divine, yeah, but Fragrance Du Bois is a shady brand which won't get a single dime, says Dev. Not from me. What is your scent of the day, Rich? Says Carl Anderson. My scent of the day is a different amber. Amber Fetiche. Oops. Amber Fetiche. It's fucking great. I can tell you. Dev, I'm right there with you. I won't buy anything for Fragrance Du Bois, but I hope that Amouage rearranges my love of Jubilation with a deeper concentration. Jubilation concentration. And Boris. Boris is wearing Lapidus pour on, but to describe Dear Man, it's an orange-driven scent with some warm spices. Opens more powdery and aldehydic like some of Roger's scent. Incense, cardamom-driven dry down. I think you'll find that Roger's scent opened like Dear Man because Dear Man came out considerably earlier than any Rogers, I believe. Isn't Haze from Axo a good weed fragrance or cannabis or whatever? I like the scent. I don't think it does weed any justice, no, but it is a nice scent. A friend with hash can have my cash, says Pio. R45 is probably worth 320. I will rock the murder today and thought it was pretty good. There's a lot of amber going on through the range, which I'm not mad about. The hash exhale is nice, great scent, grape flavoured. Nargile is excellent as well. Almost another almost old man here too, says Scott. Working out and wearing cozy fragrances get you through the cold, easy breezy, says Carl. Hello, Pat Lester. Only my opinion, but I find Amouage deeply overrated. I've tried the original lines years ago, and only like Juby and Gold Man. I've had a few. I've had 3, I think. I've had Jubilation 25, an older concentration, but not the original. I've got Diamant, and I had a bottle of Gentleman's Cologne, which turned into Gold Man, which was a bit much for me. And I gave it to Audrey Jane. Well, I sold it to Audrey Jane, and she loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I'm glad she's got it and she likes it, but I thought it was a little bit feminine by today's standards. Very floral, big ylang ylang. Big. Tremendous granny fragrance. Excuse me, I'm just pouring some severe hydration out. Oh, and spilling it on my leg again. Big piss note in it. Yeah. Welcome Pat Lester wearing fat better but grey. Only my opinion. Oh, sorry, I've read that. How does ours smell? I forgot. It's Iris. Rich, which brands offer good value in the 100 to 200 region, says Ryan. Fuck. Lorenzo Villarese, L'Artisan Parfumier, Metro Parfumier de Gantier. Try them three. Anna Goutal. Parfum d'Empire. Andy Tower. Serge Luton. It's not Oris that dear, no. Have you compared the modern Amber Fetiche with the vintage? No, not recently. Wow, what's bad with it? Thought Anna Coutal took good care, says Carl. Amouage Gold is dusty, musky, old school, powdery, animalic, icy shite, says Ryan. Amouage is kind of overrated, says Boz. That certainly doesn't have that really many good scents, says Boz. I don't think Amouage is overrated. They make original, innovative, high-quality product let down by pricing into the more rooty noses. Also be absurd levels of sophistication. Scent of the day is Laos. I think it's better than Avignon, but I like Avignon more, says Generic Perfume. Yeah, it's funny when that kind of thing happens, isn't it? You recognise something as being better than something you love, but you still love what you love more. Rich, can you compare tea for 2 to 5 o'clock au gingembre? Not right now, but I could do a video on it, comparing some tea scents. Healy is very reasonably priced. That is correct. Healy's brilliant for the money you pay. Hardy Horse, says Jeff. Rich, can you compare? Sorry, I've read that. I think I got a fake tester bottle of Interlude Woman. It has a plastic lid and smells like apple juice. Good grief. That does not sound good, Josia. What's the worst brand out there? Healy is a great value brand. Worst brand out there? Montal, Mancera, any of the clone houses. Totally agree with Healy, says Boris. Debating if tea for 2 is worth. Zerjov's a pretty terrible brand, that's right. Pop the Femo and welcome to you. Dua's pretty awful as well. Yeah, like any of the clone brands are just cheap and nasty. Cheap and nasty, mate. It's just how it is, unfortunately. Debating if tea for 2 is worth a punt if I already have 5 o'clock. Probably not, if I'm being honest. I own a few Mancera, Montel, synthetic matte Hindu Kush is okay. Powerful stuff. I had Honey Oud, and I thought it was when you could get them for like 30 quid, 40 quid at discounters. That's about what they're worth. You know what I mean? Because they're not a great brand. They're just not. They're not well made. They're not using good ingredients. Their bottles are fucking woeful. The guy who runs it has a past. But read the Ghost Perfumer. Revlon Gentil, says Josia. Powerful stuff. Buzz, there a lot of them riffs on Reedley's perfumes. Don't take down Demi's favourite brand, says Buzz. Yeah, Montel bottles are fucking awful, but I don't wear the bottle. Don't know about you. I don't know. I've been known to wear a bottle. Wearing Givenchy vetiver, don't have a single vintage bottle like the Duck though. If you lived in England, you could buy mine off us. It's difficult. I'd never wear it. I've got other vetivers that I wear. Seems like the big design houses have turned to the dark side, says PK. Well, they're following the money. Demi sucks, says Dushan. That's wishful thinking. Zerjoff is someone else, says Dev. Hello there. Hi, Michael Harness. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming. Prince Dubois, what is that? Nash, Dig Zerjoff. The guy behind him has a past. Yes, a naughty past, which involves run-ins with the law. I think the worst brands are the most cynical. Montalon ripping you off, at least, says Devon. I'll give you that. I'll give you the cynicism of people like Roger Dove is kind of, it's kind of worse in a way. You know, it depends how you define worst brands. You know what I mean? Like, define worst. And cynicism, I agree with you, cynicism is pretty, so I'm just getting my watch to go down my wrist a bit. Yeah. I'm feeding the squirrels in my backyard, says Scott. Sniffing out the herbs still in my garden. Rosemary and basil, aromatic fans. Yes. You can get 10% off plus a free hair mist with purchase if you say nice things about Zerjoff. I don't want a Zerjoff. They're all crap. One of the most overrated brands in the whole thing. They're a total myth. They're a total myth. Devon Cross, they're selling you toilet cleaner for 80 quid, says Dev. Bianchi, rate them? No. I'm on my way to a new life, says Michael Harness. What's happening, Michael? That sounds exciting. Demi seems to be changing to a man, says Pradeep. What would be fantastic or best vintage aromatic fragrance? Somebody else said she wasn't looking too well. I don't really want to say that about her. Worst brand, Frederick Mall, says Divine. My God, the goal, says Dev. Parfum de Marley. Yeah. Parfum de Marley are pretty cynical as well. Pio says, so 200 streams today. Go for another 200, please, at least, but we need the mini streams soon. All the minis, please, says Pio Benson. For the haters. For the heaters. Probably if she's getting old. She's not getting old. She's in her 20s. We're all getting old. Marley aren't the worst, but certainly not the best brand, says Boz. Francesca Bianchi, Under My Skin and Sticky Fingers are worth a pickle in my opinion. Sticky Fingers is great if you enjoy patchouli. Marley just charges more for fixatives. You pay for durability. When the durability goes to lifeless husks of perfume, then yeah, I guess you make money. Dev is correct. Just ordered Dusita sample set after listening to Les Odon's podcast. I'm looking forward to trying Erewine. I think I would make an argument for Creed being the worst brand. Price is high, performance is terrible, originality is no longer there. I don't think it ever was. Modern releases are synthetic and catalogue smells outdated. That is a pretty good argument for Creed being a terrible brand, actually. I'll give you that. That is a pretty good argument. I think what kind of aggravates the whole Creed thing is the price increases that they've done. I used to pick up Green Irish Tweed for 140, 150 quid for 120 mil. Papillon are good also. Liz Most does interesting sexy stuff, says Ryan. She's an interesting and sexy woman. Duck Shoot 200. Remember I sent you a funny pic for 79. It feels like 2 months ago. It doesn't feel like a long time ago, does it? I remember Livestream 100. Make a live stream with Demi. I don't think Demi wants to hear what I've got to say. I put on Tobacco Reserve more than 24 hours ago and it's great, but the sweet dry down won't go away. I'll say something for Demi. I do think Demi could have been a great reviewer. I think she actually has a decent nose. I think she just went for the money, you know. And that's not what I'm for. It's not what I'm into. Creed at least has some okay sense if you detach yourself from the history. Marley has mall stuff. Parfum de Marley. Yes, I'm having that. Thank you, Dev. And the issue with not paying their original perfume also left a bad taste in my mouth about Creed. Absolutely disgusting what they did to Pierre Bourdon. Olivia Creed is a fucking scandalous, thieving bastard. Which will be true until he gives Pierre Bourdon the money he said he would give him. Which Pierre Bourdon won't chase up, which is an absolute travesty. That shit should be out in public. Have you tried Sabla by Gutal Rate? Yes, but I can't remember. I'll go by the new Zerzhov just to please Duck, says Divine. I was thinking about getting the Francesca Bianchi, which is the best to start on. Demi is charming and beautiful, but she lacks depth, says Boz. She really is charming. Wait, so Creed has some okay sense, but Marley doesn't? How does that one work? So you like nothing from Marley, not Herod, not a Castor, not a Ojan, nothing? No. I used to have a bottle of Herod and sold it. Okay, my mind stuff that I like. I'm very preference driven. Givenchy Vetiver has a medicinal ginseng smell in the opening, which I quite like. It's all very appealing. I can't get over the Play-Doh note and Zozhov. It's in so many of their releases. Absolutely correct. It is in so many of their releases. That kind of like petro, like I don't want to say petro resin, but you know what I mean? Like this kind of plastic, chemical, weird texture vibe thing going on. It's grim. You're right about the Play-Doh vibe. It's ugly, you know. I thought that fruity musk sense middle of the road for quite a bit of dosh. But can maybe start with the dark side or under my skin. Each was a great representation of a style. Here is the one that probably Marley's most universally liked and accepted one. One of the worst, if not the worst, fragrance I have smelled was Ispazon by Parfum de Marley. I will never forgive them. I will never, ever forget how that smelled. It was so bad. It was so fucking bad. It was awful. It was like eating, Hubba Bubba, right? Hubba Bubba, the chewing gum, right? And it's really, really, really potent at the beginning. And then it dries down to nothing. So imagine the beginning of that, right? But it was made in Reactor 4 from Chernobyl. It's so awful. It's got that kind of fucking evil, fucking metallic. I tried so hard to like it because it was years ago when I smelled it. But it's so terrible. Probably because the Jeremy fragrance effect says. If I gave a 2-word Luca Turin style review of Sticky Fingers, it would be nasty but surely. I should Demi say compliments at least 10 times a video. Shite. I think it's weird their lavender oil they're using, says Paroli, Parfum d'Empire, and Bararusa. I may buy, you should buy. Well, I say you should buy. I bought one, absolutely fantastic. Got to get it at a discount. I paid about 66 quid for my bottle, and I was pretty happy about that. Children's bubblegum, that is an enormous insult to the Play-Doh note. I'm not huge on Marley myself. I'm just trying to assess it more objectively. There has to be a reason they are successful at making mainstream product. Mainstream usually can't be that bad. I mean, it can once you're at some point. If you're at a certain place, if you're a certain person in a certain place, if you're a certain person in a certain place in your life, and you're into perfume like we are, Parfum de Marly is just not good enough. It's for the casuals. You know what I mean? It's for the casuals. And fair play to them, let them have it. It's their money. You know what I mean? But it's not enough. It's just not enough for me. They're just mediocre, satisfactory in the worst possible way. Does that make sense? You know, when you did your homework at school and you handed it in and you got a satisfactory or a C on your work, and you'd just be like, fuck, I put loads of effort into that. And it comes back and you're like, oh God. Baudon should have had a written document stating all the things Creed promised. As much as I like to put the blame on Creed, Baudon was really dumb to agree on a handshake. Yes, he's obviously not a very good judge of character. I'd be apoplectic if I was him. There'd be Molotovs and all sorts. If somebody did that to me, there'd be hell on. Absolute hellfire. That is the type of shit that would keep me awake at night. Is Baudon still alive? Very much so. I hate Callan and Godolphin and Leighton exclusive Nissani also. The rest are either good or not too bad. It's like pop music divine. It works because a lot of people think it's nice. I agree. I don't necessarily like if something is. If it's nice, Carlisle is my hometown. So big up Parfum de Marly only for that reason. Carlisle is not far from me. Carlisle is about an hour away from me. Just got to go down the A69. I smell clubbed in a way. I think it's a Creed clone. I loved it, says Michael. Michael, what's this about a new life? Play-Doh Marley. Rather late, but evening all. Welcome, Tim Wilcox. Is the vodka note prominent? It's what? Yes, no. Yes and no. It's on my origins now for 96. That is it worth it? Rich, what size bottle? Look at tour and style review. Fascinating opinion. Don't fret, Rich. Wait, I do have access to the Celine now. Good grief, send your prayers to my bank account, says Paroli. Oh no. Fuckboy fragrances, absolutely they are. Paroli, if you want Celine, why not just pay for Aura's butter and call it a day? It's a decent call to shout, actually. Is Baudon still alive? Yes. Today I watched the Fragrance Bros Green Irish Tweed review, pure Fragcom Gold. I need to get a 10ml decant. Byredo could be the worst brand. My husband of 30 years passed on Thursday. Says, oh mate, I'm sorry. Oh. I will send you a message, reminders. I'll send you a message after the stream. Sorry, Michael. That is awful. Ryan says, 50ml bottle and dying for one. When I say dying, I am being over dramatic. I just want one. Paco Rabanne or JPG. Let's have a round. Which one is better? Well, Paco Rabanne's got a better history. There's condolences to Mike. Jay called Davidoff because they cloned JIT. I started crying from laughter. I shall not use that word. The 200 bash, says Frank. Welcome, Frank. Friends, it is that point in the stream. If you would like to like the stream, I would be most appreciative. Welcome, Rachel. Sorry, my comments are undeal time and insensitive there. Condolences, says Ryan. That's very big. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry. I think everyone's very sorry. There's a lot of love here for Michael. I hope you're all right, Michael. Everyone here loves you. We are a tight community. You don't deserve that to happen to you. You're a good man. My Ombre Rouge is doing things by itself. It plays by its own rules. It still bothers me that Guerlain changed their logo and bottle design for men's releases. Yeah, that's pretty awful as well. You know, being with someone for 30 years. That's amazing. I'm only 38. Dear me. It makes me realise that, you know. More tight than the horse. More tight than the horse the duck was trying to tame yesterday. It wasn't yesterday, it was last week. It was a rare escaped horse. It was a horse doing horse things. Gordon Ramsay's wife just had a 6th kid and she's 49. Gordon is 60. Whew. "60 years old, eh? Your 6th child. Only 38, Jesus, that's almost another lifetime of an adult on top of what I've already been through," says Dev. Dev, Dev, I'm telling you, mate, it just like that. You know, when people say time flies and you're like, yeah, no problem. I'm telling you, mate, after the fact, after it's happened, one day you will wake up at a point in your life and go, what on earth was that? And that will be your life. It feels like I was your age 5 minutes ago. Not even that. David Cameron was reappointed to the fucking cabinet today from the Lords in England, which is not a disgrace, but apart from that, he was my age when he got elected leader of the biggest fucking political party in the UK. Don't worry about it, just appreciate the time given to you. Absolutely spaced out, that's absolutely right. The older I get as well, the happier I'm getting. I've sort of, my life's been kind of in reverse. I was a very cynical, angry young man, and as I've got older, I've steadily got happier. So, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very happy about that, actually, because I would hate it to be the other way around. I have got a much better handle and feeling on my life as I've got older. Absolutely, I have. Welcome 60 people. This is not quite a record, but we're not far off. I think 66 was probably the most I've ever had, but I appreciate everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Livestream 200. Strange enough, this is my 200th live stream. And I hope to do another 200 and then another 200 and just keep going. I'd like to think we could reach 1,000 one day. Cameron wasn't in the Lords. Yes, I know. Yeah, that is true. That they actually made him a Lord. They had to make him a Lord to become Foreign Secretary. He's not answerable to the House of Commons, which is absolutely outrageous in 2023. But it also says a lot about the current Conservative Party in the UK. There's nobody who can be trusted with it. Like, you know what I mean? Could have picked anyone in the world as well, not just David Cameron. Could have picked anyone to be Foreign Secretary. And he went with Davy. Horrible Davy, the pig shagger. Now you imagine having a newborn at 60. The thing with Gordon Ramsay is he'll have au pairs and he'll have people to look after them and stuff like that. I feel bad for his wife, 48, squeezing one of them out. One of my friends is 32, 33, and she's having her second, and she's like, oof, never again. Do you know what I mean? She's like, it gets harder. You're 38, I'm soon going to be 46. Blimey, I still don't feel that like I'm 25. Yes, I feel like I'm not even 25, to be honest with you. I still act like a child. Hello, drawn by sense, listening only off. Sorry to hear your news, Michael. We all love you, Michael. 32 I am, and if I could go back to spin drinking and getting excluded, I would, yes. My father was 55 when I was born. Virile genetics, says Tripler. Good grief. Don't worry about it, just appreciate the time given to you. Always great to see Harness. Good day to Dev Boy too. Good evening, congratulations on 200 streams, manly sense, absolutely. Thank you very much. Welcome, Keith. I feel like the quickening of the passage of time is a symptom of the relationship, a single year to your entire lifespan. When you were 6, a huge chunk of your life, now less so. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are absolutely right. Everyone coming by for 200, that's right. Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody. What you supping? Just water, mate. Always water. Water or tea. It's all I drink. Actually, that's not true. I had a Pepsi Max today. I had a Pepsi Max in the at Miller and Carter, which is like a steakhouse thing. Steakhouse franchise in this country. Very nice. Miller and Carter burger was absolutely delighted. Oh, Tim Wilcox is 64, but he's up to see the Queens of the Stone Age. Where are they performing? Big fan, actually. I think Queens of the Stone Age are really good. Ahoy there. Ahoy there, Zach. Chaplin was over 80 with a baby. Of course, he couldn't pick her up, though. Yikes. Getting older and being happier whenever possible is the way to go. Laugh often, good for your health. Oh, I laugh often. It's just what I laugh at that I shouldn't. Today on the 200th live stream, Duck finally revealed that he's been a closet Dershaw fan this whole time and that he wears Ubapura as a signature. All of this you see before you is a complete front. It's all lies. I feel like I was 22 5 years ago. It goes by so quickly, says Parole. Yeah. Excuse me whilst I 200. Welcome, Omar. Happy Monday. Rogers Moscow just came. Feels like an elegant Alan Malik one so far. Morrissey once said the 20s are a test of endurance. But the thing is, in your 20s, you've got your endurance. Rich in his 70s, still keeping in touch with all of us, would be both wholesome and very at home in a British comedy series. 20s off a fucking and fuck up, says Ryan. Yes. What do you guys think that this Cameron sent is? Something absolutely unbearable, probably. I had my son at 38 and it was way too difficult, says Rachel. Where is Duchamp, says Rachel? Just turned 64. To slow down the years, try to do a lot of things and travel somehow. I feel that really works, says Omar. Which partakes in artificial sweeteners. Glad to say I'm not alone. Duck's favourite combo is tomato, beef burger and coffee. Oof. AO Arena, formerly the Manchester Arena. My partner squeezed out a kid when she was 36 after a 14-hour labour. It was painful for me, let alone her. Manly sense. Rich, do you watch professional wrestling sometimes? I find myself tuning in quite a bit these days. Not WWE, though. It's shite. I used to watch it in the golden age. I used to watch it in the golden age, but I don't watch it anymore. Centralisation, welcome. Centralised station. Central station, Jesus. Each year is a smaller percentage of your life, which is why it goes quicker. You're absolutely spot on. My father will be 74 today. He died at 57. And sorry, Matt. Poivre Samarkand has 65% of ISOE Super. Yeah, it's in my top 3 Hermes Essence easily. Yikes. CM Punk's departure was the final nail in the coffin. Which departure? He's had a few. All right, friends, I'm going to have to dehydrate. I'm going to the bathroom. Give me a couple of minutes, please. Enjoy yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Be happy. And I'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Welcome, friends. I am back. I've returned. Thank you for sticking with me if you have. Oh, you may be wondering where my candle is, and you would be right to do so. I have... One moment, please. I have took my candle, the wax, out of the dish, out of the candle holder, the glass bit, and I poured it into my wax burner. And now it's in there because it kept tunneling. The what do you call it wasn't in straight. It wasn't in straight at all. The wick. I say we're all talking about wrestling. Okay. So in a few weeks, I'm going to be rotating my collection again. And I'm going to be putting some of these fragrances you see before you towards the back. And I'm going to be bringing forth some of the heavier hitters. These are heavy hitters. Some of the heavier hitters. I feel like I haven't worn enough different fragrances. I feel like I've overworn some fragrances. I don't. But I'm going to bring up some of the heavier stuff for winter. And I feel like this autumn season has passed by quite quickly. Quite outrageously quickly. I'm also feeling that I have got too many autumn and winter perfumes. Certainly compared to how many perfumes for spring and summer that I've got, you know. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more manageable. What are you looking forward to wearing, says Paroli. I can't see them, and I've found this in my life. I really struggle to bring, because I've got so many fragrances, I struggle to bring forth the ones from my mind that I want to wear. But let's have a look. Rien, New Harlem. Oops. What are you? Laos? Are you an autumn and winter? Are you a winter perfume? I'm not sure you are. Calvin Klein. Some of the Muglers. Fendi Uomo. Antaeus. I'm looking forward to wearing like you wouldn't fucking believe. Queer Canage. What else am I looking forward to wearing, friends? Knees 10. Is that a Dior? That's a Dior Homme Intense, I believe. Narciso Rodriguez, that would have gone down really well today. Tom Ford, Noir Extreme. Sycamore, Queer Canage again. Jean-Paul Gaultier, Lamar L'Essence, which is going for fucking batshit money. My vintage Queer de Russie. Bellamy. All these fucking great things. Good way to convince your mind to buy more fresh perfumes. No. The opposite is true. Good way to convince my mind to sell more of my autumn and winter selection. But it's hard. Beavis Bonds, Evening Cold Daddy Bear. Oh. Good evening. Gold Baby Sun. There are, of course, some fragrances from the autumn collection that I'm still going to be wearing. I would like to wear more Bois de Turkey. I'd like to wear more Ambre Précieux. fucking love this Boada turkey, you know. I absolutely love this shit. I know, but I wouldn't watch WWE. The local Paul is on their roster in the days WWE. The guys still storm out of the locker room to save someone getting bullied on. All we get for seasons is summer and summer. Rainy summer. Anyone here try Comme des Garçons? Copper? No. No, they didn't. Does everybody know that Galen got married yesterday? I hope I'm not letting out any secrets that he didn't want or he was going to spring it on you. But Galen did get married yesterday. Galen is now married. And he was in a good mood yesterday. I think that's probably the first time in all the years of knowing Galen I've ever seen him in a good mood, which is nice. There's nothing nicer than seeing a miserable bastard in a genuinely good mood. You know what I mean? So, the Etherealist is now off the market. Married? Oh my God, can't think of anything worse. I must admit, it's nothing I've ever partaken in before. Oh dear, marriage in the US, quite an achievement. Divorced? Well, I mean, that's hopefully not. He invited me to the wedding very kindly, and I would have actually loved to have gone, but I don't have a passport, which is a bit of a sticking point. And Galen says, this is news to me. Yes, Galen woke up this morning with a wedding ring on and a sore arsehole. So he worked that one out. He was quite surprised to hear of that. Am I? Exchanging misery for dominance, tough choice. I don't know. I think all men want to be like with someone. I think men are quite romantic, really. I think they like to pretend they're not because it makes them feel as though they look weak, or it makes them feel as though they're vulnerable. And men don't like being vulnerable. But I think actually, really, men are romantic, and men do want to be tied down, and men do want a woman. They just are very, very, very insecure. Probably more insecure than women, which is a considerable achievement. It just goes to show we're all fucking deeply, deeply unfulfilled. And it does make me wonder, was it always this way, or is this a modern phenomenon? This is absolutely... Somebody said before, Fragalanche incoming, and nothing has ever been said that was truer. Dobry, that's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you? Galen will now post his full address. I jumped on her and her name immediately. Thanks, everyone. A man who believes he is free is a slave. The only free man is the one who enslaves himself. Well, that's me. Duck, grab a passport and travel in the US. Anyone with a British accent in the print is prime VIP dating material. It's a British accent, but not as we know it. I discovered that a few years ago, or realised, says boss, I agree we are romantic while women are political and practical and pragmatic. I'd say women are, I think you'll find women are quite, they have their limits. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think me and you are probably the best people to comment on women, boss, because I don't know if it's clear to you, but we don't have women. So, while we are womenless, I think I'm not going to pretend to understand them. But I do think that men are more romantic and idealistic in that sort of realm than most people or most men want to admit. It's a Ben Sherman, probably. I like Ben Sherman shirts. I'm very in tune with my emotions, but I'd probably be a pussy by some men for it. No, it's the way forward. You'll probably have a slightly more content and happier life being that way. There's this whole thing about masculinity and fucking all this kind of thing. Lots of men back in the day. It just wasn't chronicled. The thing that people don't take into account is that everybody's got a voice on the internet, you know what I mean? And so you can read so much stuff that you don't want to read, and it makes you lose faith in your delusions that people were always tougher and harder and didn't feel anything. I'll tell you what made me realize this. We always used to think, I say we, I mean, the accepted wisdom was that throughout the hundreds of thousands of years of human history, most people died before they were 5 years old. And the accepted wisdom, right, was that the parents didn't feel anything. They kind of accepted it, and they weren't attached to their kids, and they didn't grieve, they didn't mourn, they didn't think about it. There have been records uncovered from hundreds of years ago, right, by priests, by people who have written down, who have buried said children, right, the ones who were baptized, of course, and they recounted their interactions with the parents of said children who had died, and the utter misery, the utter abject human misery. They felt it every inch that we feel it today when a child dies. And it made me realize that human emotions just haven't been chronicled like they are these days for hundreds of years. So this kind of thing about masculinity being dead from, while I agree people are bitching and moaning more than ever before, right? It just seems amplified by the fact that everybody's got a voice to complain now. Scent of Sweden, close to the ocean. Welcome to you. You know? Another thing is as well, you look at people think that humans from like thousands of years ago just like weren't like us. They were exactly like us. Their anatomies were the same, their brains were the same, they had the same reactions. They had masculinity can't die as long as we have True Geordie. Fuck True Geordie. I look like True Geordie, which is absolutely horrific, but it's true. I mean, there's no point in lying about it. I just do. That fucker looks like me because I think I'm older than him, actually. We're both big men as well. Christ. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. So, yes, that's kind of the way I think about it. The bottle of Corelli will fall before the stream ends, says Paroli. I think that's actually it's on quite well. I'm more worried about the Ensemble Mythique, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at that Ensemble Mythique and I'm suspecting of it. I'm very suspecting of it. I'm worried. I've been around long enough to know that yesterday was one of the greatest days of my life. I nearly teared up. Nearly teared up when you wrote that yesterday, actually. I got a bit of a twang when you said that in the chat yesterday, Gail, and I was very fucking happy to read that. I'm actually mean that as well. I'm not taking the piss. It's nice to have days like that, isn't it? It makes you realise it's almost all worth it, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Interesting. All my single female friends are just sitting around waiting for men to ask them out. I'm terrified of that. Terrified of that. And going up to a woman and being like, hey, do ducks cry? You not heard the Prince song? This is what it sounds like when ducks cry. Of course they cry. One day we are going to wake up an old duck filled with regret. Isn't that from that is from a film, Inception. Any British accent, the etherealist. What if you're 2 days old, Galen? Did you win the lottery? Duck needs to be airlifted like a cow taken from a volcanic explosion alert. That's a very particular fucking thing. TMA, scratched off wifey material. I'm in love with one girl who named Diohom 2005. Not sure that's a girl. Dangerously close, though. Brian, welcome. How are you? I'm a doomed romantic, says the boss. Doug is married to Murad Dont. I am having a bit of a thing with Murad Dont, actually. I'm having a bit of a thing. I want to come smell my vintage Kuros at my house. I mean, I could give it a go. I am quite socially good, you know. That is from Inception. Good catch. Thank you very much. Yeah. I am quite socially good and stuff like that, but I don't know, I get a little bit, I don't know. I don't shit myself around women at all. You know what I mean? I just kind of lose my footing a little bit when I'm interested. It's not like it used to be. You know? It's really strange. I think it's worse as well when you actually like a girl, because then you think you're playing for high stakes, and if you fuck it once, you know what I mean? I got to go to bed. Congrats on the 200 rich night, everyone. Thank you, Devon. It's very kind of you. It's nice to see you. Hello, Brian. I live on Mercy Street, being poetic now, says Boz. Welcome, scent of Sweden, close to the ocean. That sounds lovely. It's the desperation that turns women off. They pick up on it faster than overspraying chorus. Just be comfortable with yourself. Making others laugh also goes a long way. You can laugh women into bed. I have a friend who swears by this, that just if you can make them laugh, you will go a long way. The only time I've confessed to a girl I've been let down gently with friends to this day. She is a good person. People from over 30,000 years ago were like us, Homo sapiens sapiens. Yes, my understanding of masculinity comes from Geordie Shore. Don't listen to them. I went to school with Gary Beadle, Gaz from Geordie Shore. I've learned masculinity from Al Manzano exclusively. Brian, while I don't like him that much, better than him than Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's going to end up in fucking... Andrew Tate's going to end up where Andrew Tate deserves to be. He's a terrible shit. In solitude, the lonely man is eaten up by himself among crowds by the many. That's yeah, it's just you have to choose which way you want to go, really, don't you? You know? Do ducks cry? Like I said, the song. Enrique, do you like tobacco honey, Pradeep? Thought it was okay, nothing great. And that won 500 quid for 50 mil. Smelling vintage chorus at your house? Are you sure your walls aren't coated in wee, mate? you can't be sure, can you? Because the chorus is kind of mingles. Fake macho prophet tube Geordie is like Joe Rogan. Absolutely. I don't rate Joe Rogan too highly either. I do like it when he's not being a complete dickhead and saying outrageous shit and being I hate it when he goes, wow. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're in your 50s. Grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? The only time I've confessed to a girl, laugh women into bed, no problem for me then. It depends what they're laughing at. You can most ravageur women into bed, the oldest fragcom myth. I'll tell you what the oldest frag, well, it's not even the oldest fragcom myth, and it's not even much of a myth because everyone knows it's bollocks, apart from the casuals, is that smelling good will fucking get a woman to be like, ooh, wow, that's amazing, I love you. Please take my underwear. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. It's not happening now, it's not happening ever. I wear perfumes to entertain myself during the day. You know what I mean? You can most ravageur, well, you realise half your bottle collection is hers now. You wore like fucking Ramsey's. Yikes. Ramsey's wife is threatening to take half of his perfumes. That's not very nice. Late to the duck party, says Scott Bear, but catching up. Happy 200th stream, Rich. That's a great accomplishment. Thank you very much, Scott Bear. These are the ones I've left up. There are many times when I have taken a stream down, so I've actually done over 200, but this is the official 200th one. This is the 200th one I feel that I've been able to leave up. You know what I mean? Or hasn't been taken down for dubious reasons by YouTube, who said that I tried to give medical advice about certain things that you should or shouldn't put into your body, which I didn't. I've had that needle 4 times. I am not anti-needle. Have you smelled White Whale by Mask Milano? No, I haven't, but I've heard of it. Hope they will be laughing with me and not at me. I think we all hope that. Don't underestimate online romance. A member of my family met her partner online. They're happily married with a young daughter. No, it used. Do you remember, Tim? You'll be old enough to remember when people used to laugh at it, and people like it was on the TV. Is online dating real? Should you be doing this? Is it weird? Is it normal? It's the norm now. A lot of people meet online now. You know, a lot of people meet online. Loads of my friends, loads of my close friends, loads of the people I talk to daily, I've never met face to face. You know, I've got like dear friends like Richie G and Mrs. G who I talk at most days because they've got like lives and jobs and shit to do, you know. So I'll send them funny things I say as I go throughout my day, but they put up with it. So it's like, you know what I mean. Welcome DDLD. How are you, mate? I hope you are well. I've been watching your videos. Threatening to not make any more. What's that about? That is sad, upsetting, tragic. But yes, online stuff. I'd say it's not a bad way. If it stops people being lonely and miserable and sad, but you've got to be careful as well. You don't want to get murdered. So, yes. I think tons of people meet online or on apps. Yes, they do. Doing well, sir. I'm going to leave frag comp to the pros. I was an amateur. I still am an amateur. Absolutely. Look at the state of my videos. The state of this channel. I'm an amateur. The best ones are the amateurs. You know what I mean? It was always an amateur pursuit. It's been professionalized and perverted and bollocksed. What's DDLD doing in this neck of the woods? Clearly he's got good taste. This is the thing. I like it's made kind of like a flippant, like kind of off the cuff kind of remark and stuff like that. Leave it to the pros. It's kind of part of the problem. Too many pros, too many polished people. There's no people just sitting there talking about it like we're talking about it. I'm not trying to put myself up on a pedestal. Look at Persolaze. What's Persolaze do? Turns on the camera and talks about perfume. He's a fuck's sake more erudite than I am. He's got a bigger vocabulary. He's brilliant at describing stuff, right? But what does he do? He sits there and talks about perfume. He does what I do, and I think he's one of the best. I think that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? If you've got anything about you, right, then you can just say, Eugene. What does Eugene do? There's no editing. You know, I'm not slating people who edit. There's loads of people who do lots of editing. I mean, look at the Fragrance Apprentice, makes brilliant videos. Does it in a completely different way. But what does he do? He talks about perfumes. You know, that's the best way to do it. Just be genuine about them as well. That's kind of what my thing is about people who get free bottles for review. They're not being genuine. That's kind of the ick that I get from that. Your channel is like a Pokemon that levels 99 but refuses to evolve. I'm not going to pretend I know what that means, but thank you. Supply and Demand just got the Harmonious Moon Glory 1, the male. Maybe my favourite perfume ever. Congratulations. I need to buy my father a perfume for his birthday. He likes fresh scents, Green Irish Tweed, Acqua di Gio Profumo, even a roll for any suggestions. Fresh. Get him Cologne Officinale by Healy. Good grief. What a perfume that has been this year for me. That'll be in my top 10 pickups of 2023. You can bet your life. I absolutely love that shit. Smells like really high-end soap. Ooh, the heating's just come on. Thank you very much. 200th should be a 3-hour stream. Should be a 200-hour stream. I will say whenever I wear Coromandel, I feel much more confident around girls. That's my truth. I'm honestly, right, if that it can do that for you. It's amazing that fragrances can make you feel that way. And I am happy for it. You know? That is a very good thing that fragrances can make you, can do that for you emotionally. Online dating is a joke. Most women have extremely inflated opinions of their own attractiveness, says generic perfume related. I think that they don't. I think that they just try to put that on as a front. You put your best foot forward on when you're doing stuff like that. You go to online dating to try and meet people. You're going to try and talk yourself up, male or female, or anyone in between. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna try and be like confident as well. People are gonna be like, yes, this is who I am and how I look, and it's the best version of me, but it's not the real version, and that's something you've got to look out for. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. A lot of people, like, especially when you're young, a lot of girls are just like, what do you want? Who are you? They're interested in you. It's kind of like the thing at school when you like a girl, you pull their hair. Do you know what I mean? But it's the girl version of that. What are you doing here? What do you want? Rich, but we love you as an amateur. I love being an amateur. I wouldn't be anything else. I'll never turn pro. Online dating is relative. There's the type done on apps and the type done long distance between countries. The latter, with no doubt filled emotion, just has less of a future, says Dev. I agree. Also, as an amateur fragrance influencer, do more. The best channels are the candid ones. Absolutely. Online dating is for shy people. My experience with it, not good. Don't mean to toot my own horn here, says Dev. My 120 subscribers will say I do okay. I say you do better than okay. You'd be surprised the amount of people who appreciate your thoughts, says A. I would be. Generic perfume related channel name, says Rich. You often have moments of extreme eloquence where you just flow from sentence to sentence, making extremely interesting points. And at the end of it, I'm very impressed with your intelligence. You are too kind and I appreciate it greatly. Thank you. And Galen says, I only respect reviewers who offer branded merch like water bottles and throw pillows with their face on it. Do people actually do that? No Diuzu is a great fresh scent. Yes. Healy's really good for just general fragrances, like just a really good underrated house. Legend mate, says Patal Monis. Thank you. You too. And welcome. How are you? It must be light on traffic where Eugene is, reviewing while driving. Coromandel is no myth, will turn heads, the rest is up to you. Galen ripping into TLTG. Does Ross have pillows with his face on it? That's confidence. Some of you stopped having fun and Fricom and always made it about polarization, us versus them, when it was always about fun. It should be about fun. It should be about fun, you know? But I'm from a small ex-mining town in northern England. I am extremely tribal. That's kind of how we survived. We have tribes. Oh, excuse me whilst I hydrate. The only verses in Fadcom is me versus Pissy Honey fragrances. Confession time. Today I sniffed Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir and it's quite like the modern Western oud in it. Yes. Was it Ashton or was it George who said that it was like a cheaper version of Oud Wood? I gave my bottle to Richie J. I just wasn't wearing it. Like, it should be where it released. Gail, how many puff under Molly do you need? The best way to meet a woman here is clubbing, but I hate that. DMS, yeah, drinking culture. I'm not big. I don't drink at all. I don't know what I'm saying. Hello, DMS. Generic perfume here. Why we love Rich, thank you. Yes, TLTG has throw pillows with his face on them for sale. I hate that fucker. TLTG, and there was an incident with me and TLTG. Just threw my phone on the floor, sorry. There was an incident with me and TLTG and George Zaharoff, and TLTG was man enough to apologise for what he said, and I thought that was extremely big of him. I got a lot of respect for him for that. So I thought, I have no problem with Ross at all. You know as well enough to know that if I did, I would say. But I thought that was big. I know he gets a lot of stick online. I'm not sure what for. I'm not sure what started it. Carnival Tribute, welcome to you. How are you? I just thought that he said. I just thought that was an insight into who people are. I mean, especially an apology on the internet. I mean, it's impossible to get apologies in real life, but for someone to apologize on the internet for something they've said, like, I just thought that was extremely big of him. It doesn't make the type of content I watch. I imagine I don't make the type of content he watches. Which is fine, but I always thought that was extremely decent of him, and I respect him big time for that, actually. Ross is a good guy, and we're kind of pal, says Buzz. I do actually like Ross. Seems a good lad, says Westernwood. There is room here for all opinions on everyone, unless he says something absolutely despicable, at which point I will tell you where you can go, tell you why I think it's despicable, and then you may leave and never come back. But you'd have to go pretty fucking far for us to do that. Honestly, I've met a few people who were so genuinely kind and encouraging about my videos. Weird having a stranger ask me to take a selfie with you, but those moments make the effort all worth it, says Galen. And yet you don't make videos anymore. You bad man. Make a video in celebration of the wedding. The video where you were hiding perfumes around the house was rather good. I enjoyed it greatly. The Amber Eternel perfume video was one of the best I think Fragcom's ever had. It was only about 2 or 3 minutes long. I remember asking you for the music for the video. Do you remember that? It was the kind of background music that gave you, it kind of made the video it really tied the room together. You know what I mean? I feel many people hate on us for superficial reasons. Grand Swirl is doing wonders on my neck currently. Gorgeous stuff in the cold. Do you know, I had a 10ml of Grand Swirl, and I found it so basic. I'll tell you what though. I wore this last week. Absolute Paula Swart. This absolutely brilliant perfume. This is sensational. It smells, the colour it looks, it's just this outrageous brown golden, slightly honeyed animalic incense. It's some of his best stuff, this reminds you that Coeur de Jean can actually go. You know what I mean? Coeur de Jean can make good stuff. He just doesn't. He's followed the money. I have to bounce back to work already. Thank you, Rich and chat. Happy marriage, Galen. I don't even think that's a phrase, but yes. Congratulations. That's the word I was looking for. I want to look for Ciel de Gum. Good luck with that one, mate. I remember Rich saying it's not a reference amber, but an amber referenced. And that kind of stuck with me. Yes. I can't believe I said that, but yes. Yes. You're right, I did say that. Boring amber, I thought. Very plain. Very plain. But that absolute polar soir, good grief. Shout out to Peter Kokorin as well. Thank you, Peter, who gave me the chance to own this and Amber Absolute, which I love. So appreciate that. Absolute Paula Suarez, MFK's best release yet, in my opinion, says Speed Wolf, and welcome to you, Mr. Wolf. Maybe the best use of honey I've smelled in perfume. Ooh. Ooh. Some claim that. I don't think it's the best use of honey, but I mean, it's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant. Like, it's definitely his best stuff. It's definitely his best stuff. For his own brand, I should say. The best use of honey? I don't think it is. I'm trying to think of better things, but I'm just keeping my options open while I try and wrap my head around. And there's so many. He uses orange blossom honey in it. Yes, that's very clever how he gets the orange blossom. It's kind of like the slightly jelly. It's like a jelly kind of, like a jelly kind of thing. You know, like the royal jelly that's in B, which I haven't worn. Again, good evening, Manginosis. I think we will try and go a bit longer tonight. Since it is stream 200. Oh, B, you rascal. In terms of honey, I mean, Miel du Bois. Miel du Bois is an absolutely beautiful honey fragrance, you know. Boss, #1, or just Boss. This is fantastic. Pavarotti's got a great use of honey. Apom is an animalic honey. Apom's a big one. I like the beeswax and sartorial. Is beeswax and honey the same thing? Not sure. Oh, I need to start wearing more stuff off that shelf. I've ignored it. Smelt au Poron has been ignored for too long. I haven't been wearing me leathers recently. I've been more into my armbands this year, like I said I was going to. One of the first times I've ever said I'm going to wear something like a type of perfume, you know, like I'm going to wear lots of leather this season. I'm going to wear lots of I don't know, fucking oak moss this season. I'm going to wear lots of iris. This time I decided I was going to wear amber, and I've really sunk my teeth into it. Coeur de Jean will look like Gandhi if bald. He should join the dark side of the balds like me. L'Envol is a yuck honey, but it is a honey. It's very, very big honey as well. Bods for Men is a shit honey. B is great. Crunchy bar goodness. Yeah, well, that kind of get what you're saying. Ooh, look at that. 48 people watching and 48 likes. We'll like that kind of thing. I adore beeswax and Seville à la Lobe. Crime against humanity, says Dev. Seville is a great honey. MFK made Au Noir. Rose Barbar, Narciso for many details are great. Knows I'm really creative when he wants to. Well, I did say, I hate to be this bastard, but I did say that it's the best stuff he's done for his own brand. It's always been like a bit of a meme in Fragcom where everyone's been like, oh, he does his best stuff for other brands, which I do think is the case. And you've just reamed off like 3. You're absolutely right. Au Noir's brilliant. Rose Barbar, Narciso for him, EDT's brilliant. Even Pavarotti has a huge honey. It does, but it's a different kind. I haven't found a honey perfume that I like, says Pradeep. Raw gold is my favourite honey. Is that Thomas de Monaco? Me and Proddy were talking about that the other day. JPG Classique Thick Seductive Honeys. Honeysuckle. That damn LVMH buying good houses is a real shame, says A. Yes. Yes. I think the problem we've got is it's become its own kind of ecosystem in that it's as if brands almost set up. I mean, look at Maitre Parfum. Matière Première. Matière Première, right, was set up, I'm convinced, with the exclusive intention of being bought by a bigger house. Oh, you bastard. Like, I don't know that Coeur de Jean set up MFK to be bought out by one of the big like Lauder's or LVMH or someone. I think he wanted to make his own perfumes for a while. And then I think he did, and they didn't sell, whereas the ones he thought weren't very good started selling, and I think he kind of lost interest, you know, because people weren't interested in the stuff that he was making. But that absolute Paul Assoir, that is some perfume, that, dear me. That is some perfume, I can tell you. You know? Like, honey, skankiness, and incense and amber just balanced to utter perfection. Utterly brilliantly made. You know when people say stuff like, well, Eugene said, I think it was Eugene said once that he thought Baccarat Rouge was perfectly balanced, like it was brilliantly made. He didn't necessarily like it. He wasn't saying it was one of the great perfumes of all time. He just said that he thought it was brilliantly made. I'm sure it was Eugene that said it. Sorry if it wasn't. And I was like, no. But he's kind of right in saying that, like, the actual execution of it's brilliant. It's just, I don't like the smell. You know what I mean? Probably, have you tried bee, honey, patchouli, and lipstick, iris, powder? Power! Did you try those Eli Saabs? They're all made by MFK. Do you know what it is? No, and it's it's a source of great consternation for me that I haven't tried those Eli Saabs. I would love to have tried them. LVMH tried hard to buy Hermes, and God bless them for not giving out. You got to ask those honeys out, butterflies be damned. Practice on Dura. Dura would have it as well. James, we're going to meet our own honeys. Raw gold is great for honey indeed, says Brian. How is Brian? This New York by Fugia, 1833, may be my next purchase. Actually, no, I've never heard. In fact, have I heard of them? I think the 1833 rings a bell. What's the price on it approximately? Absolute Paul Assoir at the moment. It's astronomical. Well, Peter sold it to me at a really good price. So I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look. We'll go to eBay. Absolute Paul Assoir. Absolute Paul Assoir. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolute Paul Assoir. How dare I put a T in there? Ooh, well, I can tell you right now that there is a bottle on French eBay, 70 mils for €1,000. That is a yawningly high price. That is absolutely scandalous. You shouldn't be allowed to do that, you know. Somebody's selling a bottle of Unheard of Samsara, though, for 50 ml. I won on eBay, and they want 85 quid. You'll spend fucking more money on worse perfumes, I can tell you. I've seen it on eBay for 600 US. Yeah, hold on a second, I'll show you. Where is it? Absolute Polar Swore. Where is it? There you go. Absolute for the evening. Absolute Polar Swore. Hanubar, God loves a trier, but there is absolutely zero chance. There is no chance. None. I mean, if you buy that, you're a fucking, probably a registered fucking, on some kind of list for offences against the person. You know what I mean? Don't do that, for God's sake. They've got a bottle of Eau Sauvage by Duel. There it is. Why is there a 250ml bottle of Eau Sauvage? And why have you spelled it that way, you mad woman? Look at the state of it. €700 for a used bottle of Eau Sauvage, 250ml. I could buy a considerably larger volume of perfume, of that perfume in its vintage form, for considerably less. That is, welcome, Abe, how are you? This person is, what? Well, they've got a, to be fair to her, she's got a sealed vintage, I say vintage, it's a 2011 bottle of Eau Noir, Eau de Parfum, and she wants €1,500 for it. That is, that is, I don't know what that is, to be honest. It's giving us a cough. That's what that is. Oh, fuck. Dear me. That is one massive container. Well, I've got several. I've got Bois d'Argent. I've got Amber and Away, Patchouli Imperial. I've got... What else have I got? I've got loads of them, mate. That is a lot of fucking money is what it is. You're absolutely spot on. I'd love a vintage Eau Noir, not for 1,500. It's 2011, so it's not an original Eau de Cologne, which is the more... You could probably get an original Eau de Cologne for considerably less than that. I mean, if you could still find it, which you can't, so... But this person, Hanubar, you, madam, are a rascal, a knave. She's actually sold some stuff. What? Quimaresque by Serge Luton. How much did you fucking pay for that, you silly person? I bet that was not cheap. Good grief. Hello, the masculine pissy honey is for me, says Duchamp. MFKOs has this feeling of perfection. I sort of get what you're saying. Baccarat Rouge is fantastically executed idea. Smells like transparent red crystal. Most honey notes smell the same to me. Absolute Polar Swat is a completely different type of honey with its orange blossom and honeysuckle facets. Yeah, Boris, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole there, didn't I? As far as finding out. Finding out the price of Absolute Polar Swat. Put us on my arse, that. The sense of sweetness I've smelled have turned me away from a lot of fragrances. The modern obsession with gourmands is not to my liking. It's this overly sucro-sweet kind of syrup, like pure syrup kind of smell, like Diet Coke before they put the water in, if indeed they do put water in it. Like Coke, have you ever done a reduction on Coca-Cola where you just put it in a pan and you boil it until it burns dry? You ever done that? It looks like melted slug. You get a big black slug and you melt it. That's what it looks like. And you could probably put wallpaper up with it as well. It's gross. That's one massive container, half a litre. That's a shaft, Rich says Death. That's what she said. Lol. I'd love a vintage Eau Noir, not for 1,500. The cologne of Eau Noir is stunning indeed. Tiny brushstrokes, lots of details and changes. Yes, that's what we like. Anything over 600 for a vintage Dior Privé is stupid, says Abe. Abe, for those prices, you could buy a Sultan Pasha leagues better, says Dev. I almost can't smell amber on the way up close on my hand. Go nose blind to it that way. Shows out, but I'd probably head for Diaghilev if I'm spending at that price range before a Sultan Pasha. I've worked in food service and the smell of spilled soda syrup will never leave my brain. Aye. Grim. You do it, but at least Pasha makes his own perfumes. He does make his own perfumes. He is his own man. Found a bottle of Absolute Polar Swat in Lucknow, India, 21,000 rupees, which Googles for 214. You're going to pay some shipping on that, mate. And you'll have to wait for it for quite a while. Good grief. Oh, he's driving on the wrong side of the road. Sorry, friends, somebody's just sent me some funny videos. How do you feel about EDC versus EDP of Bois d'Argent? Huge changes. Huge is a little bit harsh, but the EDC is better. It just is. It just is. But I do think the EDP is still eminently worthy and absolutely brilliant. And I'm glad I've got both. But the EDC, goodness me. Woo. 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 That is some perfume. You can imagine that coming out in 2003 and just being utterly revolutionary. It's one of the best fragrances of the century. Absolutely. It is clear. No issue saying that. He's more of a Bach than a Mozart, I feel. Russian Adam is Stravinsky. Not really relevant to the current season, but favourite marine scents is A. Oh, I'd have to have them in front of us, mate. Oh, because I'm struck. My head's just not in that. I need prompting by my collection. It's like having two collections. you know, because you split them up. I think is Enson's Mythique a little bit marine. It's got that huge ambergris thing. It's definitely got marine aspects to it, but it's a dark marine. Enson's Mythique's right up there. Absolutely. Pierre Cardin, is it blue marine? I don't think that is actually a marine scent. I've said that. It's not. Oh, don't fall over, for God's sake. Just didn't vibe much. Did you just take violet? Oh, the Bois d'Argent. Violet, no, but a purple floral, yes. Haley Slimon clearly loves vanilla. Just look at Fahrenheit 32's notes. Everything he made on DTO was vanilla ambers, except higher in energy. Yes, and I mean, Au Noir wasn't very vanillic, but he clearly loves that iris vanilla, soft, clean, sweet, masculine thing, doesn't he? You know? Clearly he loves it. Oh, God. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Au Noir to me is very gothic, has vanilla leather in the base. Leather? I like the stream for Eugene. Is Eugene here? I need to dehydrate, friends, and I will be back. I'll be back in a few minutes. Please entertain yourselves and have a good time. But yes, I'll be back. What's this? Can I just fucking nibble? I am back. It is me. How are you? Oh, dear Barbara. Excuse me, Christ. Metro just doesn't ship to Israel, says Dev. Lots of places. The problem for you at the minute is the situation in that part of the world. It's going to be almost impossible getting perfume or any kind of post internationally, possibly even nationally. Couldn't try Metro or Lorenzo Villaresi for that reason, says Metro Parfumier Gantier. International shipping by advance transfer, bank transfer? No. That'll be a no. Absolutely. Do you find vintage Borsalino to be weak? It smells watered down to me. I didn't think it lasted as long as it should. Not at all. You know? Excuse me whilst I hydrate. I feel you on that. Space Brain is fizzy though, for us pop lovers. Funnily enough, Colosseum was the cheap option for me, and DHL is always like $40 to $60 shipping. That is a lot of shipping. International shipping has been astronomical. Absolutely. You should have seen some of the prices I was paying when I was buying off in Noosh. All the good stuff I've wanted to sample across the pond has been difficult to justify when Colosseum wants 5 to 10 times the cost of my order just for shipping. Yikes. Couldn't try and make through Lorenzo Villarese. That's a shame. Gentle Fluidity Gold just arrived. Are you a fan? Supply and demand. Oh. I'm tired. And I'm gonna go. I tried to push on, but I can't hack it. Okay then. This has been Livestream 200. Hopefully you will all be here for Livestream 300. And 400, and 500, and 600, and on for as long as we can. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for coming and making this channel what it is. Michael Harness, I will send you a message after the stream. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. And I will see you all again soon. Good night, everyone. You be safe. Fuck.